First off, huge shout out. I posted on X. Give me a top 10 idea for this live stream. And if you give me an idea and I choose it, then I will name it after you, which is what I did in the title of this video. So Fan Film Fan came up with this awesome idea. What about top 10 multi-kill scenes in horror movies? For example, the bus scene in the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the raft scene in The Burning, the pool scene in Nightmare 2, and damn it, he's spoiling it for me. Okay, so yeah, you get the idea. All right, I didn't read his choices. I read like up to his like Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie choices, and I was like, I already like the idea. I don't need to read anymore. Let's go with this first one here. And yeah, you're going to see a couple of franchises mentioned twice. Let's go with the Lab Massacre from Halloween 6. And guys, is that an image that you have ever seen before of the Lab Massacre? It's a pretty badass image, isn't it? And I kind of just accidentally, because what I did was I have like Blu-ray rips of all the Halloween movies. And I couldn't find a good image on Google of the Lab Massacre. So I was like, you know what? I'll just pull up my my digital copy. And I'm just flipping through, because the Lab Massacre, it's very strobe-like, you know. And I'm just, I keep hitting the space bar to find a good, and I was like, oh shit, look at that image. That's badass. I like that. So, yeah. So, the Lab Massacre, man, that's one of the most psychotic scenes in the franchise up to that point too. Because Halloween 6, I just like how crazy that movie gets, It's almost like psychedelic. Even the plot is a little whacked out and crazy, but the cinematography is insane. And I just like that Lab Massacre scene was such a big surprise. I didn't expect something like that, where Myers is just slaying, a whole bunch of doctors in lab coats. And that scene wasn't even in the producer's cut, which is crazy to me. Because there's people that prefer the producer's cut, but man, that scene's any cut, it's got to be in there. The Lab Massacre. That is an iconic freaking scene. The reason I chose the Lab Massacre is because Michael kills quite a few assholes in that room. All right, and that's going to be the running theme throughout this whole list. Great idea by Fan Film Fan for sure. Hellraiser 3. Now you're probably going to see a couple of nightclub scenes on here, but I think Hellraiser 3 might be my second favorite, and I think Hellraiser 3 is like, if you want to just have a fun time, I think Hellraiser 3 is like the popcorn movie of the franchise. I think it's got a lot of great variety in like the color palette of the movie, the cinematography. Pinhead has some really, really fun moments, some fun lines. He might have some of the coolest lines in 3, actually. But yeah, you could tell Doug Bradley was having a good time in this movie. I actually really enjoy Hellraiser 3. I did see this one in the theater when it came out. And I think this one, it definitely feels 90s. It's got that 90s vibe to it. You got great 90s music in the movie. It gets a little silly at the end too with the Cenobites, and you got like the one that's got like a compact disc head. This freaking nightclub scene, man, it's bloody and graphic. And, people are dying in the best, Cenobite and Pinhood fashion. And it's just really fun. I think I watched the first one and the third one the most, if I'm being honest. I think the second one's a little bit too, it's really dark. It's really dark. It's good. I love the second one, but I think the third one is the one that's more fun, more accessible, right? Okay. Next one, of course, Halloween Kills. And this list has no order, by the way, guys, okay? Because this scene right here might top the list. It might be the best freaking scene as far as like multiple kills in one scene. I think it might be the best. Everything coming together. They literally set a house. That's a house that's really on fire, a controlled fire. No CGI bullshit. And then you got Myers, soaked, coming out of the house, and it's just one of the most badass freaking scenes I've ever seen in my life. I love that in Kills, they gave us the most badass Myers, right? The most balls. You want a balls to the wall Myers that's believable. Like that guy could freaking just slay everybody. Halloween Kills, you know? And so maybe that's why I get why they didn't go that route in Halloween Ends, because it's not that type of movie. Let's give them the Michael Myers movie that will make him look like the coolest horror icon ever. He will take the mantle in this movie, you know? And man, that scene right there just cements it. Wow. Yeah, what a scene. What a scene. Can anybody tell me what that one is? And I'm gonna confession here. The Werewolf Orgy and Trick or Treat. Oh my God, Brandon, that is a great one. Wow. Holy shit. If I clip this out, which I will clip this out, I'll put a picture of that on there because I'm glad you mentioned that. That is a fantastic pick. The Werewolf Orgy. Yeah. Love that scene. But yeah, this is Ghost Ship. And I don't remember the movie at all. I haven't seen it in ages, but you can't not forget the opening scene. It is a legendary, iconic kill scene. Just this. What is that, guys? Is it just like a wire that just comes through the ship and just freaking cuts everybody in half to bits? Yeah, really badass scene. And I think the scene is so good that it kind of overtakes the movie. You know? Because like I said, I don't remember anything else about the movie. I just remember that. All right. Next one. Let's go with some Freddy versus Jason. Really, really fun scene out in the... is that a cornfield? I think it's a cornfield. You know? But let's put Jason out there and let's have him just completely hack and slash everyone. You know, tons of teens. I don't even know what the correct body count is for this scene. It's got to be, it might be, I'd say maybe 20, 30, you know? And I'd say as far as like single scenes, because I know that some people mentioned Friday Part 6 when he chops off the 3 heads. That would definitely count. But this right here, man, you get it all in one shot. He was just cooking fools in this scene, you know? And I think this is the scene that every time Kane Hodder watches this movie, this is where he cries. You know, he could have been in that scene, and he would have loved that, right? Yeah, what a great! I automatically love the movie just because of this scene. You know, Freddy vs. Jason is a really, really fun movie. They really nail Freddy. Freddy is like, this is like a swan song for Robert Englund. You know, what a great send off for the character. To put him up against Jason, and he's arguably in his best form, right? Would you guys agree with that? Like, if he's not this best, I think he's top 3 Freddy in Freddy vs. Jason. You know, he has the right amount of dark and serious with some comic relief. I think he's still creepy. Like that scene in the bathroom with Brendan Fletcher. That's full on creepy Freddy. You know, the scene with Catherine Isabel in the locker, that's full on serious Freddy. Yeah. I love Freddy vs. Jason. It's a really fun movie. And you know what? I don't hate Jason. He does what Jason is supposed to do in the movie. Is he the best Jason? Far from it. But he serves his purpose, okay? He serves his purpose. All right. Next one. It is Carrie, of course. If this is top 3 material for sure. This is iconic, you know. And I think it's a great, like, this is the bully movie of the countdown, right? You know, you feel so bad for this character. She's constantly being picked on. And I tell you, high school girls, they can be really mean. They can be really mean. I don't think my daughter would mind me telling you. She went through this when she was in middle school. When she was in middle school, there were a group of girls that just, they tried to make her life a living hell, you know? And she rose above it. and she, plus she's got a mother that knows how to deal with these things. And she told her, this is what you say to her when she does this shit to you again, because it started getting illegal. Okay, let's just put it that way. Some illegal shit started happening, and I was sad, obviously, because my daughter was crying, but I was also like, okay, now that you've crossed that line, we can take action. Okay, because it's the saddest thing, and Rosalie, I'm so sorry that you were bullied. I know a lot of us have dealt with this, but there's that line there that some bullies, they know I can't cross this line. If I go this far, then they can take action. But if I stay within these confines, I can get away with this for as long as I want. A lot of bullies, they know this stuff. So when they did this, we told my daughter, you tell her tomorrow that if she says another word about you, you will be kicked out of the school. So we gave her a chance. If I hear one fucking word out of your mouth again, and my name better not be in your mouth, then you will be out of the school. I guarantee it. You will be out of the school. That girl never said my daughter's name again. She never said a word to her, because my daughter put the fear of God in her. Okay? Sometimes you don't have to use your fists, right? Sometimes you can use your mind. And that's what she did. So that's a true story. And I was really proud of her. I was really proud of her. Okay? Because she went through a lot of heartache during that period, It's tough when you see your daughter come home crying. As parents, you want to fight their battles. You want, it's silly to say, but say if your son's getting picked on by another bully kid, there's just for a slight moment, a dad wants to beat the shit out of a little kid, but not really. But just a slight little moment, you want to grab that kid like she does in Hand the Rocks the Cradle, and you want to say, "Don't you fucking touch my kid." You can't help it. You can't help it. So, Amber says, I was bullied in both middle school and high school. To people can be cruel at any age. Yes, very true, Amber. Very, very true. It's an ugly thing. It's a really ugly thing. But then, you get movies like Carrie that you screwed with the wrong person, and not saying this is the right thing to do. I'm just saying it makes for a great scene in a horror movie, okay? And the great Brian De Palma, man, I freaking love Carrie. Just because I love the story, Stephen King, but I also I'm a De Palma nut, and I loved his direction of this movie. I still haven't reviewed Carrie yet, which is crazy. I need to, and I have the freaking Shop Factory. I think I got a couple copies of Carrie. I've been wanting to review it forever, and I went through a De Palma phase there, and I reviewed Body Double, and I reviewed Blowout, and oh my God, those movies are it's fun to talk about his movies. So I'll definitely be reviewing Carrie soon. All right, next one, we got The Burning. This is top 3 material. Oh my God. Now I'll say, if there's any scene that could possibly beat Halloween Kills on this list, it might be the raft scene. It probably is the raft scene. Ooh, David Thorson, good one. The pool scene and Let the Right One In. Oh my God, my favorite vampire movie, by the way. Fantastic scene. I like that. They're just on the raft and it's nice and calm. They did this a lot in the 80s. They did it with the original Friday the 13th at the end, when she's on the boat. And they don't have like a build-up or anything. And this can work too. But yeah, there's no build-up to it. They're just like on the water, on the raft. And then all of a sudden the killer just pops up out of nowhere. You could kind of compare this to the Friday the 13th. And I just had this thought. The very end of Friday the 13th, Jason pops up and then, boom, that's it. We don't show you what happens after, if he were to kill her or not. And they're not wrong. It was so effective, and it was just the visual. He looked so creepy. We hadn't seen Jason at all throughout the entire movie, so that was the first time we saw him. So that's why that worked. This one, he pops up, but you need a little bit more, And so they literally show a massacre, and he kills every kid on the raft. And, back in 1980 or 81, yeah, back in 1981, when it wasn't that easy to do this shit, Tom Savini, man, the work Tom Savini did on that scene is just, he's God level. Okay, next one. How many more we got? We got 1, 2, 3 more. Okay. Next one. This is, tell me what that movie is, guys. Okay? Tell me what that movie is. Now, I will say, a lot of people mentioned another movie, and I was like, nope. And it's the same kill. The other movie is Friday the 13th Part 2, which has this kill, but it doesn't show anything. You just see the reaction of the character. You see him holding the spear, and then you see the reaction of the characters, and then you see the spear come out the bottom of the bed. This one, like all Italian horror, they show you the goods. And it's just glorious. This is the reason why I love freaking Italian horror. Bay of Blood, Twitch of the Death Nerve, pick your title for this movie. I prefer Twitch of the Death Nerve, if I'm being honest. Matter of fact, I wish my Blu-ray said Twitch of the Death Nerve instead of Bay of Blood, but you take what you can get, right? But man, what a movie. And I'd say this might be the first slasher of its type, because it feels like a camp slasher. And like all Italian horror movies, it has a what the fuck ending. Like, why did that happen? You don't ask questions. It's Italian horror, and it's okay. It's great. But Friday the 13th Part 2, this isn't the only kill that they copied. They copied 3 kills from Bay of Blood. That's almost a crime. 3 kills they copied from Bay of Blood, because there's a wheelchair kill in Bay of Blood. And then there's a machete to the face, across the face. So that's pretty much a double kill in Friday the 13th Part 2, because it's the wheelchair guy, and he gets killed with a machete across the face. So they split those two ideas apart for Bay of Blood. Am I making sense? If you've seen both movies, you know what I'm talking about. Two more. Here we go. Another nightclub kill. Of course, the collection. Really gnarly freaking scene, because you had this, like, what would you call it? Like a tiller or something like that. They're in this nightclub and everybody's dancing. And the collector, he's standing up above, and he sets up this trap. And it's this giant freaking, what would you guys call that? I don't know. Any farmers in here? It's like a tiller or something. And it just like slays. It's pretty much like Ghost Ship. It's very similar to Ghost Ship, except it's on steroids, right? But yeah, love this movie to death. I think this one's even better than The Collector, and I love The Collector. A Combine. Yeah, I think you're right, Zodiac. Combine. It does suck that The Collected was scrapped, and they shot some stuff, which is crazy. So that's just scrapped footage, because it's been too long, and they can't start shooting again and then reuse that footage. I mean, they could, but I think it would be noticeable, because the way people age, hairdos, all that. I don't know. Last but definitely not least, is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the pool scene. I love Part 2 to death anyway. And you know what? You could actually say the opening school bus scene as well, which happens to be one of my all-time favorite horror movie scenes. What the hell? So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Man, this is such a unique movie. It like stands apart from the rest of the franchise. I just like how Freddy, he manipulates Jesse, and he doesn't really do that with any other character throughout the franchise. He kind of messes with Brendan Fletcher's character in Freddy vs. Jason, but not to this level. And I just love Mark Patton's performance. I think his performance is highly underrated in this movie, although he does scream a lot, and he does kind of have a funny scream. But still, Man, he can handle emotion quite well. And when he breaks down, Jesus, insane. But yeah, I got to mention the school bus scene too. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite scenes. I can't remember, but I might have seen Nightmare 2 before I saw the first one. You know, this was 1985. VHS had been around for a couple of years, but 85 is when I think we got our first VCR in my house, my family. And you remember those VCRs that had the pop top, you know, and you slide it in and you drop it? Man, I miss those days. And yeah, one of the first movies I ever rented, because you couldn't dare buy a VHS movie back then. They were like $100. It's crazy. But one of the first movies I ever rented was Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And it was so freaking fun. And I just loved the opening of that movie, you know? Just the idea of like being on this school bus. Because there's something creepy about school buses anyway. Am I right, guys? And then in this dream, and then, you know, how it just keeps speeding up. That's another scary thing. You know, you're in any vehicle. You don't, and if you're not driving the vehicle, A, you don't have control. And then B, it starts speeding up, you know? And so you're like, oh my God, I don't have any control. I'm going to die. What's going to happen? Right. And then they end up in this freaking like dreamlike world where you got this, I don't even know what you would call it. You know, it's like this desert type terrain, and they're like teetering on top of this stem in the middle. And then Freddy just comes and he's like ripping the seats with his knives. Oh man, what a great scene. What a great scene. And I love at the end of the movie too, when they're on the school bus again and Freddy's hand comes out of her chest. Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore. Yeah. But yeah, that was it, guys. That was a fun freaking list. What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching. And if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here. Click on one of those. And yeah, hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.